Let him through. Let him through.
Really?
In 1989, 5 black and Latino teenagers were wrongly accused of the brutal rape of a jogger in New York City Central Park. Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, and Korey became known as the Central Park Five. They allege that police coerced them into making false confessions. The boys were charged and convicted with no physical evidence implicating them. Think about that for a second. They spent 6 to 13 years in prison.
But in 2002, their convictions were overturned after DNA evidence and a confession exonerated them. Now Academy Award nominee Ava DuVernay is telling their story in her 4-part series, When They See Us.
You tell the truth, we clear things up, we send you home, okay?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Kevin Richardson said you raped a lady in the park.
What? No,
Wait a minute. Wait a second. That is not possible. This is my son.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about. That
Okay.
What are we?
Kevin says it did.
Wait. Who's Kevin?
And Ava DuVernay is with us. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is a riveting show. Let's just start with the title, because originally you wanted to call it Central Park 5.
I think originally people assumed that it would be called Central Park 5. There's a documentary called that, and this is what the boys were called. For me, I was really interested in getting underneath this moniker that had been given to them by the police, by the prosecutors, by the press, and really to humanize these boys and ask you to see them, not just the label they'd been given.
Well, I thought I knew everything about this story because I remember when it happened, and I remember very vividly. And recently, I got to meet all 5 of them at the Innocence Project. And Ava, I actually went to them and apologized because I was embarrassed and ashamed because I believed everything about that story. Hook, line, and sinker. It never occurred to me that they could possibly be innocent. And I think watching your piece, I learned things that I didn't know. But what you did was you really did show you put humanity, you made us see them in a different light. And I didn't know that that was possible considering what we'd been told about this story.
Well, meeting you that night was important for them, just for people to see and hear their story.
They said a lot of people come up to them and apologize.
That's right, right. And so I think it asks us as the public to really interrogate the stories that we're hearing through the news. You all have a certain responsibility, but we as the public have a responsibility to ask the next question, to really interrogate what we believe, and enough people didn't do that at this time. So hopefully the film allows people to think again.
And do I have this right? You started on this project because of a tweet at you asking you to tell the story?
I get a lot of tweets.
I think you do.
I get a lot of tweets, but this one I was always riveted by this case. At the time that these boys were teenagers in Harlem, I was a teenager, grew up in Compton on the opposite coast, so I was always connected to the story. And when
Why were you riveted by it?
They were my age. They were my age, and just seeing them and me and my friends, I was really connected to it.
When you think of that tweet and the journey you've been on from that tweet to being in a theater, watching it with them, watching them watch themselves, what was it like?
You know, I've had a lot of beautiful things happen in my career, but there was nothing like sitting behind them, those 5 men in a small screening room, watching them watch a story we spent 4 years to make. They wept, I wept, they cheered, they held hands. It was...
What were they crying for?
What
did they see?
They saw themselves. And they saw each other. They had been so into their own story and experience that to finally understand what all the other families and their brothers, the other men, were going through was something that really was a revelation for them.
One of the things that's so powerful about this is it's not just what they went through, it's what their families went through.
Oh, the parents.
So true. What was the tweet you saw that caught your eye? Because as you point out, you get a lot of tweets.
They tweeted me. Raymond Santana tweeted me from an account called Central Park 5. Ava, what is your next film after Selma? CP5, ? And then hashtag fingers crossed. Yes, it worked. So I DM'd him, slid into his DMs, and I said, hey, I'm coming into New York in a few months. Maybe we can get together.
So they were awarded a big settlement years later. However, their lives changed. But they still have never gotten an official apology from...
They've never received an apology.
And the city didn't admit guilt either, did they?
None, zero.
No, they didn't at all. You know, money can't buy back your youth. Money can't bring back fractured families. As you continue to watch the piece, you really see the effect of this ordeal, this incarceration on the family. Family structures broken apart. No amount of money can get that back. So they're making their way through.
You know, it's a 30-year-old story, but it sometimes seems like everything old is new again. And I was struck by the fact that President Trump then as a private citizen actually took out an ad in the aftermath of the boys'
4
arrest.
ads in 4 New York City papers.
Well, you know better than me. $85,000 he paid.
Yeah, sure did.
Has the president ever commented on that? They never got an apology from the city or from the prosecutors. You ever heard from the president on that?
Have I heard?
Have you heard? Are you aware of him saying anything? Because I'm not.
I think he made some kind of snide tweet sometime last year,
and
I believe.
It brings me to the second question, which is, we're 30 years on. Some things have changed. Some things have improved. Can this kind of thing happen again? Can this story happen now?
Oh, it can absolutely happen now. The question is, can we interrogate what's happened in the past to safeguard ourselves from it happening in the future? That's why I'm such a student of history. I like to embed historical context in my work. We can only kind of better the situation if we realize the details of what happened. So that's what we invite people to check out.
Well, tonight is your big premiere. We're so glad that you're here on our first day.
Thank you.
It's a riveting show. It's absolutely riveting.
Bravo to you, Ava.
Congratulations, Ava.
Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
When They See Us premieres next Friday. That's May 31st on Netflix.